we are there to make the place better. So even if it is in the church here, if God has led you here, he has led you here for a reason. You are here in order to make this place better. And so we asked ourselves last week, am I making the place I am better? Can you imagine it? Just now, it just came to me now that, as a spouse, the home where God has placed you, God is expecting you to make that home better. So if you come there and how you are concerned is about how you will be better, then that's the wrong reason for being there. Wherever you are, God is expecting you to make the place better. And that's why we don't take whatever we are as something that should be for granted. So we ended up last week by talking about the mindset that we should have about work. And we did say that it does not matter whether it is Friday or not, or whether it is Monday. The attitude that we should have towards work is about making the place better. So there should be nothing like, thank God it's Friday as far as a Christian is concerned. Because every day should be Friday, and practically no day should be Monday. Why? Because Monday would say, geez, another week. But tonight we are going to look at some things that I hope will help us even in our attitude towards work. So we started by saying that whatever we are, in order for us to go higher, our mindset should be that we are there to serve and we are there to be blessed. And we said to be blessed, we need to be diligent. We need to work with diligence and we need to work with excellence of spirit. Then I think that was where we came to when we stopped for the naming. And so we're on page 45. In order to go higher, God wants us to know that whatever we are in our workplace is an opportunity to be a blessing to others. So not only that we should be blessed, but then we should be a blessing to other people. Genesis 30:27 says, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord had blessed me for your sake. That is it. Can anybody say that wherever we work, that God has blessed them because you are there? Obviously, if you are there and your attitude is to make the place better, and you do whatever is within you to make the place better, somebody is going to get better at that place, and the person is going to say, I really thank God that you are here. I really thank God that you are here. And even if somebody do not express it openly, there should be a sign that, they are excited to see you when you come to work. When they see you walking in, they're excited. Some people will tell you, I'm so glad you are here today. And you are just seeing me for the first time. And when you hear that, it's because there is something about you that gives them joy. And that is a part of what it means to be a blessing to other people. Okay? We want to go into, onto page 46 to look at understanding your workplace. Understanding your workplace. And you need to understand your workplace in order to know that God has placed you there, one, so that you can be, so that you can make the place better. It says, we spend a few hours in the church every week, but we spend more hours in our workplace. So life outside the church building is to demonstrate that we have learned, to demonstrate what we have learned in the church. And listen to this, our workplace is thus a platform for us to demonstrate our Christ-like life. Now, how do we handle this? When most of us, when we get to work, they don't know that we are Christians. When we get to work, we put aside Christianity and then focus on, say, you know what? I am at work. And that's why. So you don't care about your lifestyle as a child of God when you are at work. Okay, remember we defined workplace, career, vocation last time as not just something, not just where we go 9 to 5 only, but even when you own a business, you don't say, you know what, this one we are talking about is not about Christianity, this is business. But this tells us that wherever we are, outside of the church, wherever we are, the Christ-like attitude should still be there. We need to continue to carry on that Christ-like attitude. Why? Because in Matthew 5:16 it says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So Christ-like living is expected wherever we are. So we have some points there that said, your work is a platform to do ministry, to model Christ-likeness and lead people to Christ through passive and active witness. Now, passive witness will be through your lifestyle. Active will be to talk. Some of us might say, well, you know, this is America. In my workplace, they may not allow this. Yes, that's okay. If they don't allow you to stand up and talk openly because they will think that you are religiously prejudiced, what you can do is through your lifestyle, your passive life, they can know that, okay, you are a Christian. It says your work is a platform to demonstrate high standards of integrity and ethical business practices. Even when you see others doing some things that are unethical, and they may say this is business, for you as a Christian, you are expected to not join them. You are expected to continue to hold on to those ethical values, regardless of how hard it may be. Regardless of how hard it may be. Okay? You are expected to hold on to that, those ethical business practices. Then the third says, keep the channel clean and clear of any unwholesome practices so that the blessing of God can flow unhindered. What are some things that we can do that are unwholesome? You can say, for fear of joining other people, for fear of being called names, of being discriminated against. Well, if they are talking, bad about the boss, you join them. If they are going out and they say, well, happy hour, and they are going to drink, you say, well, if I don't join them now, they will say that I don't socialize. Then you join them. You may not join them to drink alcohol, but eventually they will get to the point when they will not see the difference between your lifestyle and their own. So that means you should be able to maintain your stand. Maintain your stand. Know that God has placed you there to make the place better. The same God that has placed you there is going to position you there in such a way that you will be grounded, and nothing that they will do can move you from there, unless God wants to move you to somewhere else, which by then I want to believe that you would have made the place better, and God wants you to go and make another place better. So, our attitude. And one of the things that is required of us, wherever we go in maintaining our Christ-likeness, is faithfulness. And we're going to spend some time on this word, faithfulness. Okay? No, we said, it's written here by Gio. He said, there was a time in the history of this church, and he has said it many times, when companies sent representatives to the church, like they send people to schools to go and recruit. No, they send them to the church, to Gospel Faith Mission International, to recruit people for their accounting positions because they found our members faithful in handling their financial matters. And this was possible. Why? Now, can you imagine a company sending people to go to a church and say, you know what, we trust the people who come out of this church because when they handle our accounting, we know that we are not losing any penny in our finances. They report it the way it is. Their integrity is so high. So we want only people from your church who should be in the accounting department. That's what he said used to happen in Gospel Faith Mission back home in Nigeria. I want to believe that the same thing happens here too. Why is it that they found that? They found the people to be faithful to God in their service. Those are the people who know that wherever they are, they're supposed to make the place better. And guess what? If you are in a place and you make the finances of that place better, ask any business person. They will tell you that if the finances of the company is good, are good, if the finances are good, then guess what? That means that, oh, okay. So I should remain in one place. Sorry. So if they know, if the finances of the company where you are, if the finances are great, if everything is great, that company is going to survive. Yeah. And many times, you are the one that is responsible for that. How do you make it better? You are punctual at work. You are conscientious in the things that you do. You are diligent, like we said before, and then you do it with excellence of spirit. So faithfulness is what requires us. The reason why they were coming to church is they said the members were genuinely born again and had shunned a lifestyle of sin. So they had been well discipled by their pastors who nurtured them into Christ-like maturity. And then they were doers of the word and not hearers only. And I want us to take note of this. It says, today, however, the gospel of materialism and moral recklessness, often labeled as hyper or extreme grace, has led many to be derailed from the path of faith. So what used to be there is no longer obtainable now. Why? Because now we want to be like other people. Now we want to, join other people and be materialistic in the things that they do. But this teaching is telling us that we need to go back to that part of faithfulness. It says faithfulness is required in doing your work. It is a sign that you are responsible. It will bring quality referrals to you. And it's true. If you are faithful in the work that you do, believe me, there's nobody that will call to check on you that you don't get good reputation. They will give you good review, good referrals. That's what you will get. Because actually, they will not even want you to go. And you know that faithfulness rewards? Because guess what? When you are faithful and you find another job somewhere else, they are going to top it. So maybe that's another way to get promotion. Think of it. We're always looking for more money where we work. But can we really get good reference from the place where we work? And you know that that can actually be the source of you getting more money. When God says you should be faithful, God knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. Faithfulness rewards. Even in the place of work, it rewards. And that's what he's saying. No? So, it says here, A, faithfulness in the type of work that we do. Okay? Faithfulness in the type of work that we do. It said, to the unbeliever, all work is work, but a believer cannot be engaged in all types of work. A Christian does not engage in sinful work. Listen, for example, a Christian cannot be selling pornography or engage in prostitution. Is your work leading others to sin? That is the check on how faithfulness is in your place of work. Is it causing other people to sin? If it is, then you know that that's really not faithfulness as a Christian. To the unbelievers, work is just work. But for you, as a believer, you know it's not just work. You are there representing somebody who has placed you there to make the place better. And he's ready to equip you and empower you to make the place better. Because that's the reason why he has put us there. Faithfulness in how we do the work. So in the type of work that we do, so we are expected not to do the type of work that would not represent God. Okay? Selling pornography and all those things, of course not. So that's the type of work. Now, this is in how we do the work. Faithfulness in how the work is done. Said, this addresses the quality of work done. Every time you work, you are either building or destroying your reputation. And we're encouraged not to work with mediocrity. No. That is not what is sustainable. Now look at, if you see that you are representing God, when God formed the earth, when he worked, after he finished, what did he say? He didn't just say it is good or very good. Very good. Now, that's not something that is done with mediocrity. Okay? So, if we are representing God, we cannot work differently from the way God worked. The fact that God's, I mean, it's very easy for us to say, well, that was God, so he could. No. Like we said, if you know that God has asked you to work because he himself has worked as an example, then we can do the same thing. But mediocrity attitude in work is never going to give you anything that you say, this work that I did is very good. But God looked at everything that he made and he said, it is very good. And when you work excellently, you will know yourself that, yes, I have achieved. I've really done this thing. It's not praising yourself, but it is that satisfaction that you have that, yes, you have actually represented God in this thing that you've done. He has praised you. This thing that I've done is contributing to the betterment of this company. That's all it takes. So faithfulness in how we do the work is very, very important. And you know what? Like this title says, going higher. You cannot aspire to go higher in the work you do, and you are doing that work with mediocrity. You can never go higher. You tell me, the work that you did with mediocrity is not done excellently. How is somebody else going to come to build upon that? And if nobody is coming to build upon it, then obviously you are not going higher. You are not going anywhere. Are you communicating with me? Yes. If I do some work with mediocrity, then obviously what is happening is that is nothing to write home about that somebody else will come and build upon. Then just look at going higher literally. Going higher means what? You are moving up and up, right? So if the work I've done here is not good enough, how can somebody build on it for me to go higher and higher? Just look at it literally. I know it is more than that, but even in a literal sense, you can see it. No? So let's not work with mediocrity. The way we work is very important. It says that it is not uncommon that when people are to be sacked, the names of those who put, going down to page 48, in mediocre efforts, top the list as the company finds them dispensable. Can you imagine that? When they are looking for people to fire, do you know that there's a record of those who have been very good? If you have been in that place to make the place better, and you are making that place better, if they have a list of people to go, you are not going to be among them. But if you are one of those that is not making the place better, it's not even making it to have a status quo, to remain on a status quo, but actually going down, obviously, they are going to weed you out. So one of the ways to protect ourselves from being among those that they will say we are unemployed is one thing. It is to do what? To do our work with excellence of spirit. To do it diligently so that other people can build upon it. Okay? So, we need to make sure that we do our work. Look at what it says in Proverbs 11:1. It says, the Message translation says, God hates cheating. in the marketplace. He loves it when business is above board. And when you do your work with mediocrity, that means that you're actually cheating that business, because they hired you to do better than what you are doing. So if you are performing below standard, then you are really not helping that business. Also, we have faithfulness in when you do your work. He said it is common today to see people use their employer's time to do something else. They use the work period for other things instead of doing their work. So when you do your work, faithfulness is also expected. How many of us, I'm not saying raise hands, how many of us spend a lot of time on the phone when we're at work? We're at work. We're supposed to be working. But then, you just say, me, and then you are checking your phone. Then you just see something interesting on WhatsApp, you begin to read. And then when you hear any footsteps coming, then you just put it aside. Granted, you have lunch, you still go for your lunch. So when we do our work, faithfulness is expected. Now, if there's an emergency where you need to make a call on the phone when it's outside of your work time, sure, you can do something. Guess what? You can step out and do that. Or just tell your boss, I'm going to do this. It's not that they are really watching you to make sure every second is spent on the work, but faithfulness is expected of you. So that when you do your work, they know that you are putting in the maximum time. Now, you want to get paid 40 hours a week or 37.5 hours a week, and yet when you put the whole week together, the amount of work, the number of hours you spend on the work is probably not up to 25 hours. But if they dare take half an hour from your time and not pay you, you will complain. Meanwhile, you are getting paid for time that you did not work for. So when we do our work, faithfulness is expected. Said some people even do private practice in work time. God is calling us to a higher standard. You are earning wages for working for the employer, not for doing other things. Therefore, ensure that you really are faithful in using the work time for the work. How many people have some things in their bag that they sell? When it's at work, when you're expected to be working, that you go and be talking to your neighbor, you want to sell. Meanwhile, it's not your break time. So when you do your work, faithfulness is expected. We're not even talking of coming late or telling somebody else to clock you in when you know you are running late. Or you have something to do, you just zoom in and then walk in the presence of your supervisor, just to know that you are in, and then you just zoom out. And then when they ask, they say, "Oh, I was just in the bathroom." So when we do our work, faithfulness is expected. You know the reason why faithfulness is required? Because it pays. It rewards. It rewards. When they are looking for the right people, they will choose you. When they are looking for who to give money to, to give promotion to, they will pick on you. When they are looking for who to give raise to, they will pick on you because you are faithful. Even if you don't know it, you may think they are not seeing, but God has a way of rewarding you for doing the right thing in His own way. And sometimes when you do some good work, somebody could just see it, you do it again, somebody sees it, and before you know it, they say, wow, this is good. They would recognize you. So it's very important that we are faithful when we do our work. D, on page 49, it says, faithfulness to those to those you work for. This one is a tough one. Those you work for. How many of us do not complain and say, really? That person? That boss? This one is just a slave driver. That's a slave master. How many of us do not do that? This is something, when you were looking for employment and you were going for interview, you did whatever was within your power to make sure that you got that employment. Now you got the employment. After you've gone through your probation, okay? Either 30 days or 90 days or whatever, now you think that you have grown wings. And now you can really begin to analyze the person that you were pleading to give you a job before. Now you analyze the person and say, that boss. So it says you must be loyal to your employers. It is not uncommon to see a worker who acts like Absalom, stylishly winning over the clients of his or her boss to start his or her own company and expecting God to bless such a business. That's what some people do. They get there and then they begin to instigate other colleagues, other employees against the employer. Okay? So that they can trouble the company. Some will come there and then also try to get the good ones that are there so that they can go elsewhere and then start something. There are so many ways that we are disloyal to the people that employ us. So many ways. How it says we should not do that. Said the foundation of such a business is flawed, and the harvest, when it will come, will be unpalatable. When you go and you steal people and then go and start something else, that foundation is flawed already. You are supposed to call on God to lead you in starting your own and then lead you to the right people that will help you to build that company. But not to come and instigate them against your boss and then you get them away from there and eventually some even contribute to the downfall. But we're not supposed to do that. And we expect God to bless us. It does not happen. Look at what Absalom did. Try by all means to win the heart of Israel from his father. Went to go and then try to proclaim himself as king. How did he end? And so that spirit of Absalom should not be there. You can go and start your own company. Advertise. Let people apply, but don't specifically go and you know that this person is making that place better and you win the person from there so that you can bring the other person down. That is not a good way to do it. It says, there are some who are plotting to advance their careers or ministry on the heel of another man's fall. And 1 Corinthians 4:2 said, moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found what? Be found faithful. We're expected to be faithful, to be loyal to the boss that God has told to employ. He said, your loyalty to your employers or superiors must be an outflow of your loyalty to God. Why? Because you are representing God there. That's what you are doing. You are representing God. So let it be an overflow. Okay? In other words, it has boundaries. You cannot be doing what is sinful on the ground of loyalty to your employer if it is contrary to divine law. So we also want to look at faithfulness where you work. Not just for the employer, but also where you work. It says there are some places, some workplaces where sharp practices hold sway. Engaging in acts of sabotage and conspiracy will not take you far because you will always reap what you sow. We need to be faithful where we work. Be faithful. Not just to your boss, but where you work. Don't try to have any conspiracy or sabotage anybody's effort, because it's going to come around. Says your promotion, F, on the kingdom is a function of your faithfulness. What we have been saying all along. Your promotion is a function of how faithful you are. You may think that it is taking so long. I've been doing this, nobody sees this. I've been working for 2 years, not a single penny. Just keep on doing your work and do it faithfully, and you will see what will happen. Just keep on doing it. Luke 16:11-12 says, therefore, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if you have not been faithful in what is another man's, who will give you what's your own? Men may be hoodwinked by eye service and men-pleasing acts, and may make an error of judgment by promoting you, but God is never deceived. No, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will reap. So, if you are faithful, definitely you are representing God. Definitely you are doing what is right, what you should be doing, and you will be rewarded. But if you are unfaithful, you will also be rewarded too. But that reward is not what you desire to see or what you desire to have. So, now we get to the real workplace. Say, going higher in a hostile workplace. How many of us work in a hostile workplace? What do you mean by hostile workplace? We have any mic? What do you mean by hostile workplace? Anybody? What is hostile workplace? Because, we need to know so that we know how we can go higher in it. Anybody want to tell us? Okay. Hostile workplace. Hallelujah. It's not on, is it? Okay.
Hostility could be in various ways. One, it could be with the people you work with, that's your co-employees, even the employer too, and maybe their practices could be hostile to what you believe and your mode of work.
Okay, but what is a hostile workplace?
Unfriendly place.
Unfriendly place. Anybody else? As an unfriendly place. A place that is hostile is an unfriendly place. Yes, anybody else? Where you are uncomfortable, then where you are victimized or you feel victimized. And I say feel victimized because many times when we think we are victimized, it's just that we feel that we are victimized. We may really not be. But it's unfriendly. It's unwelcoming. You are troubled in that place. You are uncomfortable in that place. That is a hostile workplace. How do you grow higher in go higher in such a place? Let's start by looking at Matthew 5:43-48 and listen to this. Said, you have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. And pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. Remember, we are representing God in our place of work, whether it is hostile or not. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect just as your Father in heaven is perfect. So that means we can be in the workplace where there may be enemies, where people will make our lives miserable. We can be there. But what you are being told, we cannot do the same to them. You make my life miserable, I'm going to make you miserable too. Oh, you come to the office, that one does not even greet anybody. And when you greet them, they don't even respond. And that's the complaint that we have. But he says we are not supposed to say, I'm not going to greet. I'm not going to talk to this person. Actually, the more they do it, that's the more that you are supposed to talk to them. Because that's what it says we should do, to model God in whatever we do. So he said, we may come across difficult people in our place of work. And who says that when you are going to a place to work, you are going to meet people that are pleasant? Even in the home, where you are all together, you can even feel that some people are not even pleasant. But you are there. And that's the same thing we are supposed to do. It said, sometimes we may find ourselves working under tough and difficult conditions. God sometimes allows difficult and hostile people to come on our way. He did not send them our way, but he allows them. Okay? This, in turn, makes us better people as we learn patience, perseverance, and endurance. And those three things we are supposed to carry them with us whenever we go to work. Patience, perseverance, endurance. If you don't have those, guess what will happen? You will be changing jobs every week. Because the only time you can enjoy your work is probably the first day. If God help you, maybe the first week. And you know why? Because everybody will be pleasant. They will be trying to know you. Even people that you have come and they may think that you are a threat to them, they will still be pleasant because they are trying to figure you out. So that when the real business comes, then they can begin to deal with you. And when they really don't want you, after that week, you begin to say, what changed? Really? What did I do? See, I thought these people are very nice people. You begin to say, but it takes patience, it takes perseverance, and it takes endurance. If not, you are not going to be able to even maintain any job. And when you are not able to be patient, you're not able to persevere, and you're not able to endure, guess what? Your resume will be 10 pages long. And then when you go for employment, they begin to say, gee, why did you leave from this place? Oh, gee, look at, you were here for just 2 months. What happened? They begin to ask all those things. But remember we said that those things, those things reward. When you're able to maintain a place because of your endurance and patience and perseverance, guess what? They'll say, wow, this is the kind of person that we want here. They are looking for people who can stay long in a place of employment because they know that they can count on you. They know they can rely on you. And so that one too pays. So for some people that may be jumping from job to job because they think they are getting more money, there's also that effect too. You're getting more money, but you may not be employable if anything happens. Because they are looking for people who have that patience, endurance, and perseverance. Because they can count on them and they can work with other people. Said this in turn makes us better people. Said sometimes we acquire more wisdom and understanding on how to cope with the complexities that we may find in human beings. There are many things that may provide hostility. Look at Genesis 31:7. Said, and your father had deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. Okay? Who was talking here? Jacob. Who was he talking to? There you go. He was talking about Laban. Look at that. But you know what? One thing that Jacob did was what? He persevered. He was patient. He endured. And did he get what he went there for? He sure did. He got double. Though it was sinful. They are not supposed to do that. But perseverance. So employers of labor must be fair in all their dealings. That is granted, especially in relation to their workers. So it's not just the employees being faithful. Employer, in case you're an employer, you should also, show that pleasantness so that you will not be hostile. Some treat their workers unfairly as if they are slaves. They are not, but we know that, that's just the attitude that they have. They talk down on them, but they are not supposed to. But a Christian who is an employer of labor must treat his or her workers fairly and model the love of Christ for all to see. That's what is expected. That's what is expected of an employer. So in case you are an employer, or in case you are an employer to be, note that when you have employees, you are supposed to treat them in such a way that they will not feel that there is any hostility. So hostility may come from co-workers as well. So not just from the employer, but it may come from co-workers, especially the ones that really do not want you around there. They will gang against you. And before you know it, they begin to bring up stories. And you know what happens? When they do that, because of the attitude towards you, you can get so angry that one day you react and they will say, hey, didn't we tell you? Meanwhile, they are the ones that cause you to. So it is so important to have that patience, that endurance and perseverance. If not, they will do things to make you do the things that they are plotting against you to do. It happens every day at work. But if you know that you are there to make the place better and you continue to trust God, God will help you in that faithfulness, in that perseverance, in that endurance, so that you would not react in a way that they will say anything or cause you to do anything. So co-workers, some are even lazy, and some are arrogant and simply toxic. And it is very easy to follow those ones. The lazy ones, you can follow them. Why? Because they are the ones that they know a lot of stories. They come to work every day with stories, things that happen. And they cannot wait to get to work. And once they have your ear one time, that is it. And the moment you refuse to now give your ear to them, they will look for a way to say, this one, we can't trust this one. And before you know it, they begin to look for a way for you to get out of that place. Meanwhile, it's not your fault. But as a Christian, you want to continue to maintain. He said, domineering superiors, unfair employers, rude customers, or even an unfavorable company policy may pervade a workplace. Favor provokes envy. Promotion attracts enemies. Have you ever seen that at work? Yes. Promotion attracts enemies. Because when you are promoted, of course you have enemies because they say, really? And guess what? They will think that you are favored. That's why I said favor provokes envy. They feel that you are favored. But meanwhile, you are favored because of your diligence in your work, because of your faithfulness. And not even that you are favored. You are just being rewarded for the work that you are doing. But another person will see it as, this one. But all you are expected is to just do your work the way you should do it. Because just know that there will be enemies. There will be enemies there. So the more successful you are, the more you are likely to have haters and detractors who want to see you fall or fail. But first, take a look at your relationship with others and your methods and approach to work. He said, is your relationship with your co-workers, employee or employer healthy? That's a good question for us. Is your relationship healthy with your with your employer, with your co-workers, with your colleagues, That means we really need to work on that. Said, do you seek the good of others and or seek to sabotage their efforts? There are people in your place of work who are looking for a way to sabotage your effort. Especially, and you know what? If you are good, that's when they'll be looking for that to do to you. If you are bad, you're already in their camp. They don't worry about that. You can continue to be bad with them. And you'll be in the same camp. When they are looking for people that they will send away, you will be in the same camp. When they are looking for people to promote, then of course. But we are expected not to sabotage. I said, are you the type who likes taking credit for everything, even when you are not wholly responsible for the work done? If this is so, you may be responsible for your own plight. And it's true. Do you know there are some people that's all they do? At the place of work, if they are a part of a team, they will be the laziest too. But the moment they succeed in getting that thing together as a team, they will be on CNN. And it will be, it is my idea, it is that I put in, they will drop the whole thing about team. And it will be them. I'm the one that did this. Oh, it was when I mentioned this that they saw this. Really? And they know how to sugarcoat it in such a way that you just believe them. But it says we should not be like that. It said those who are contractors also face a barrage of challenges, such as under or over invoicing, bribery, supply of substandard materials or goods, intimidation and harassment, invitation to join contractors called, collection of flash loans for which no payback is intended, and many others. While we may complain about the harsh operating environment, let us remember that Lot's daughters were pure even while in Sodom. Because some of us say, this is the way the environment is. It's so hostile. But, some may see that, sin is what operates there. And then so you may decide I'm going to join them. But look at Lot's wife and look at what Sodom was. I don't know any place that can be as hostile as Sodom, that can be so bad as Sodom in terms of immorality, materialism. Yet, Lot's daughters were there, and they were pure. They did not join them. And that's what is expected of us. In our workplace, we are not expected to join those who do all those things. We are not expected to join those who are corrupt, those who give bribe, those who receive bribe. We are not supposed to join them. We are not supposed to look for dubious ways of doing things. You don't give employment by having an affair with the employer. No, that's not. Or even with your supervisor. Not the employer yet, even the supervisor. Because you are looking for a good review when you know you are not doing your work. Or you are looking for somebody to cover you up. No. It says we should not do that. Look at that Genesis 19:8 when it says, when it talks of Lot's daughter, it said, behold now, I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And this is during the time that Sodom was about to be destroyed. Okay. Said, we are called to be light. We must not join the darkness. If you find yourself walking in a hostile environment, what should you do? Number one, be blameless. If you ever find yourself in a bad environment, that in a hostile environment, workplace environment that is hostile, what you need to do is be blameless. Because Romans 14:16 says, let not then your good be evil spoken of. That is the only way. If you are blameless, they will not speak evil of you. Okay? Daniel 6:4 says, then the presidents, I'm talking of Daniel, and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So if people like Daniel could be faithful, look at, they look for everything to bring him down, and they could not bring him down. If you are faithful, no matter what the plot may be, no matter what the environment may be around you, they cannot bring you down. Because when you are there and you realize that you are working for God, that you are representing God, that you are there to make the place better, guess what? Nothing they do can bring you down. All you need to do is be good. But if you are evil, of course, when they speak, it is evil that they will see in you. And that's the only thing that will bring you down. But if you have people like Daniel and they could not bring Daniel down, then you should also know. So ensure you live a blameless life, and that the hostility you face is not a result of the backlash of something negative that you have done. Stay blameless and stay pure. So if you've done something bad, and there's people that are very good at that. They do something bad, and when they begin to talk about it, they are the ones that will be rumbling their mouth and begin to give excuses. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, they are just trying to come against me. No, you don't need to do that. Just be blameless. So in order for you, he said, if you find yourself in a hostile working environment, be blameless. The second thing is, don't repay evil with evil. Don't repay evil with evil. David could have done that to Absalom. No, he didn't. He did not repay evil for evil. He actually loved him. Maybe you may say because that was his son. Yeah? But then also, he did what he did because he was also somebody who was faithful to God. It says it is fleshy and carnal to want to repay evil with evil. When our flesh rejoices, when it sees the fall of our supposed workplace adversary, it is a sign that we are still carnal. When David heard of Saul's death, what did he do? He was so angry, was so sad, that actually the person that brought the story, had to die for it. No, that was, we know he was a warrior, but that was just him. But, he felt that sadness in him, that this person who is his enemy, who has pursued him all his life, died, and he heard it, and he just, hey, praise God. He didn't stand to say that. He wept bitterly. Then, if you find yourself in a hostile environment, what should you do? Ask God for wisdom. Okay? So not only do you stay blameless, not only do you not repay evil for evil, ask God for what? For wisdom. Look at 1 Samuel 18, verse 14 to 15. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. When you behave with wisdom, when you ask God for wisdom, guess what? Those people who get themselves together as haters of you, they will begin to fear you. Because they begin to see, what kind of power is this person carrying? Meanwhile, you are not doing anything, but they see that you are acting with wisdom. And they begin to really fear you. They will begin to. So it said, ask God for wisdom. James 3:7 said, no, but the wisdom, 17, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. If you find yourself in an environment, in a hostile environment, pray. Number 4, pray. And look at what 2 Samuel 15:31 says. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. David did not say, I'm going to get some squads to go and kill Ahithophel. Is that what David did? But if we find ourselves in a hostile environment, what do? No, what do you do? I know that's what we were told to pray now. What would we do otherwise? Are we going to be so nice? No. You say, me? Me? Really? Okay, you will see. Fire for fire. But look at what David said. Oh Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel. Why not we pray that same kind of prayer? Oh Lord, turn their heart so that they will not be hostile to me. That's a prayer we can pray. So you find yourself in a hostile environment, pray. Pray. And did God not turn the counsel of Ahithophel? Yeah, he sure did. Absalom died. Look at what Job 5:12-13 said. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So that's why you want to pray to that God. And you know, it is so simple like this. If you know that God has placed you there, and you know the purpose of placing you there is so that you can make the place better, then when you face any challenges, who do you go to? God, who has placed you there, is the one you will go back to and say, God, I know you placed me here for a purpose. So, God, please, act. Not to act to kill them all, but act to turn all this hostility towards me, against me, turn it to naught. That's the prayer that we can pray, like David prayed. And when you do that prayer, God is going to frustrate the devices. Because for people to be hostile in a workplace is craftiness. That's what it is. And God will frustrate that craftiness. You know, that's how it is. So while we do not pray for the death of those who are hostile to us, we can pray for their repentance. So number 5, when we find ourselves in a hostile environment, this is a tough one. What do? Bless them. You may want to say that is difficult, and it is difficult. Those who want to go higher will obey Jesus. And what did Jesus say? He said, but I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. So if you want to go higher, what do? Obey Jesus. And what did Jesus say? Bless those who curse you. Bless those who are hostile to you. That's what Jesus said. Bless them. And it's true. You want to go higher? You need to obey Jesus and do what Jesus says you should do. That walking in love gives you victory over negative emotions. When you delight in the ways of God and obey him, God can now do his own part. When we bless and love our enemies, God takes the full responsibility of meting out whichever punishment he deems fit. Vengeance belongs to him, not you. Proverbs 16:7 said, when a man's ways please the Lord, what will he do? He will make his enemies to be at peace with him. He said, don't be revengeful or vindictive. Overcome evil with good. Go what? Higher. Any questions, any comments on going higher in your vocation, in your vocational life, in your career, in your job, in your business? Those are all vocations that we say. Anything that you do. So you don't say, well, they said I should be nice to people at my place of work. But, you know, on the road when I'm driving, that's not my place of work. So, hey, you know, if you're a hoster to me, I'm a hoster to you. Or in the shopping store, you know, I mean, the shopping store, the shopping mall, say, hey, look, be nice to me. If you're not nice to me, you know. Or on the bus, you are not nice to other people. You don't create space for other people to sit. In the train, you are sitting down like that, you know, occupying space when there's room for, you know. You don't say that because wherever you are, it's a place God has placed you at that moment. And God expects you that the environment around you there should be better. Any questions, any comment, any contribution? Yes. Mike is in the front here.
It's good to be godly. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Amen. I said it's good to be godly.
Yes.
Yep. But let's look into a situation where, for example, if a government or, you know, either any government, Africa government or leader is oppressing its own citizen, is it not a good thing for the citizen to pray for the removal of that oppressor? To me, I would say it's a good thing. Maybe my degree of holiness is not up to that. I don't know. But I just believe that for people to be under oppressor, it's good for that oppressor to be removed. Now, bringing it home, I like to bring things home. If there is any, let's say there is a boss oppressing or just doing, you know, how will I put it? Just doing evil things. Just, you know, little things, he or she will let her staff go. To me, I find it, I mean, as a burden, you know, I mean, I consider it to be, it's better for these wicked people to be removed for the sake of innocent people who will be suffering or losing their jobs. Would that be a good something to look into? I mean, depending on the situation, because I hate when people are being oppressed or when people are being, you know, treated, you know, wickedly, unnecessarily. So will that be a good thing? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
It was just popping into my spirit to ask.
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very good question. I mean, I think we can bring it even closer. Let's not even take it to the government. Let's look at if your employer is so harsh to you, are you going to pray for the removal of that employer? Then would the employment place still be there? I don't know. But one thing we can do is this. If you know that there is that kind of situation, all you can do, my own idea would be, you just pray for God to show himself in that situation. If God chooses to remove, God will do it. Because, you know, when the Bible says, pray for those in authority, who puts those who are in authority there? If God does not allow them, okay, he may not permit, but if he does not allow them, they will not be there. And maybe sometimes the people in authority do what they do because we don't pray for them. So we should pray, pray for them to remove it, just like praying for them to die. That's a prayer that I won't pray for anybody. So I would say, while it is a very bad situation, oppressing people is not good. One thing we can do is, God, please show yourself in this situation. And the children of Israel come to my mind. God, for some reason, God who could just cause one sickness to kill Pharaoh, who was so hard, God didn't do that. But God saw the suffering of the children of Israel. So praying for the removal is to say, God, you have not done a good job by allowing this person to be the leader. But one thing we can do, we can pray that God will turn the heart of that person. For a time, I will just stop there. Yes. Quickly. Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to find out, at what time do we come to really say, okay, enough
It's enough.
is enough? Or, even though in a society whereby we are being taught on how to protect ourselves and defend our right.
Right. There's really no time to say enough is enough, because there's no time that is enough to pray. That is, now we have prayed enough, let's stop. There's nothing like that. The time that you know enough is enough is when you become God and you can direct the affairs. But you continue to just ask God. Ask God. No. I understand some of the situations, but you cannot take it into your hands to do what you don't have the power to do. Ask God. That is what, just ask God. Yes, Pastor Oni wants to contribution here. It's tough when you see people suffering and you just want the leader to do something, but what can you do?
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I think you answered that question very perfectly, the way I would have answered it too. In such situations, I think what we need to pray for, that His will be done. And the grace to be able to submit, because you don't know what the Lord is going to do from that situation. Papa Adeboye gave a testimony of a very oppressive leader, that one young man was under him, and he said, over his dead body will that man ever be promoted. So he said he went to Papa Adeboye and said, Daddy told him, don't leave, just keep on praying and see what the Lord will do. They said they transferred him, they transferred that man, they promoted that young man. By the time they brought him back he was under the young man. So, I mean, nothing could have been better. You know, so if you pray that he dies, maybe some of his relatives will know that you did such a thing like that. So you don't want to do that. Thank you.
It's tough, but then all you can do is just allow God to be God. Like the message you had, be in your own lane and let God be in his own lane. And do not jump and cross God's lane. Yes, let's see what another person, and I know we'll come to you. Let's see. Any other question? Okay, well, let's hear it coming from Abraham.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Take for example, now in my place of work, and I see the salary of other people with my same qualification and the same grade are paid higher than what I'm being paid. Yeah. Should I just keep quiet and keep praying to God until God will intervene, or I should bring it forward to the human resources notice?
That one is a very simple answer. When you were hired, what did you agree to get paid? It's just like that parable. The parable that we are reading in Matthew now just, answers that question easily. When those people said, you hired me since in the morning, and I worked all these hours in the sun. You are paying me the same thing as people that just came in 1 hour. That's the same thing like getting promotion. It does not matter. What did you agree to? Okay? And if other people are getting that raise and you are not getting, one thing you want to be sure that your work is consistent, diligent, with excellence. If, in addition to all those, you are still not getting anything, and people whose work are mediocre are getting it, guess what? That promotion, that money they are getting, that is not the righteous, that's not the good money. Just keep on doing your work. Again, like we shared last week, it is not the amount of money that you make that sustains you. You that's not making that amount that you envy, you may even be doing better than the person that is making 10 times more than you make. But just be faithful in what you do, like we learned this evening, and allow God to do his own thing. And God will glorify himself. If you are representing him to make the place better, come on, he is going to act. But we cannot just be faithful today and then say, no, this is too much. Tomorrow we're unfaithful. Then say, hey, no. Let's just be consistent and allow him to do his thing. It's tough. Practically, you may find it challenging, but you know what? Eventually, it rewards. Shall we bring out our offering? As I read the conclusion here, it says it is time to go higher. Our work is a channel through which God blesses us and through which we bless others through the contribution of our efforts, skills, gifts, and talents. We must use it positively by producing excellent work. We must also manage our workplace relationship in a way that glorifies God. Our work is also a ministry outlet through which we reach out to others and influence the society. And that is what God expects us to do, even in the church. Shall we take our offering while I give the announcement? The early morning prayer continues tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. So please, let's be a part of that. It's always a time of blessing, and it's a wonderful way to start your day. And tomorrow, the intercessors will be meeting via phone. Anything on Friday? No. Okay. On Saturday, we don't have evangelism? No. Okay. Then on Sunday, we are here. On Saturday, we have the praying in the Spirit in the morning. On Sunday, we will be having 2 services. So let's continue to pray that God will give us harvest. Those are the announcements that we have now. Thank you so much. Shall we stand to share the grace in fellowship? Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. Our anchor, looking on to Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Amen. The month of March is the month of covenant, and the year 2019 is the year of God's faithfulness. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.